Hello everyone. So in this video, we are going to learn the top 10 Google Task automations. This video is going to be a complete guide for you to learn how to automate Google Task with multiple other applications. Google Task, which is an application provided by Google so that you can create and update task and update your team about that. So what you're going to learn is create tasks from Google Task to Google Sheets, then to Notion database, and also from new form submission. So wherever form submission is arrived, then a task will be created in Google Task. Also, you will learn to share the task on Google Chat or Slack channel as well. Also, the automation is there to create a Google Calendar, that to a detailed event from that task of Google Task. And not just these automations, you're going to learn more about it. So let us learn how are we going to create these automations with the help of Pabbly Connect.
Hello everyone. In today's video, we are going to learn how to add new task from Google Task to Google Sheets automatically. So basically, Google Task is a task management software and Google Sheet is a spreadsheet program where we can create and share the spreadsheets. In my use case, whenever a new task is added in Google Task, it should automatically get updated on my Google Sheets. But here, the problem is that there is no direct connection between Google Task and Google Sheets. So how the data will be transferred between these two software applications? For this, we are going to use a third-party software, that is Pabbly Connect. So basically, Pabbly Connect is an automation and integration software which will help us in integrating Google Task with Google Sheets automatically. The best part here is it doesn't require any coding skills or programming knowledge. Even a non-technical person can do this in few simple steps. So now let us check this in the real time. So this is my Google Sheet, vendors data, and this is my Google task list, that is vendors. So I want that whenever I create a new task in this vendor task list, it should automatically get updated in my Google Sheet. So let us create a new task. I'll click on add a task and I'm giving the title as vendor details. I'm giving the description details as enter the details of the vendors. And I'm giving the date and time as say 10th of August. And let's click on OK. So I have created a task here. Now let's see whether this task has been updated in my Google Sheet or not. Let us refresh this Google Sheet. So now here we can see the details that we have filled in our Google task, the vendor details. It's been fetched in our Google Sheet automatically. So you might be wondering, how did I manage to add the details of my Google task into my Google Sheets, that too automatically? So let me tell you that I have done this in just 3 simple steps and anyone can do this. So let us move on to our steps. In step 1, connect Pabbly Connect with Google Task. So in step 1, we are going to create an integration with Pabbly Connect and Google Task. Now at step 2, collect the data from Google Task in Pabbly Connect. So basically Pabbly Connect is going to capture the data from Google Task. And in step 3, send the same data to Google Sheets from Pabbly Connect. So the data which Pabbly Connect has captured from Google Task, the same data will be sent to the Google Sheets. So basically, we have created an integration between Google Task and Google Sheets with the help of Pabbly Connect. So now let us learn the steps. Let us learn how to create the integration. For this, let us write Pabbly, pabbly.com in our browser. Now here we have to go on products and click on connect. Here, as you are the first time user, you have to click on sign up for free option. As I already have an account with Pabbly Connect, I am just clicking on sign in option. Here we have to scroll down to connect and then click on access now. Now this is the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Here we have to click on this plus sign, create workflow. I am giving the workflow name as Google Task to Google Sheets. Google Sheets. You can give the task workflow name as per your requirement. And let's click on create. Here we can see a trigger window and an action window. So you might be thinking, what is trigger window and what is action window? So here I must tell you that Pabbly Connect works on the concept of trigger and action. So trigger means when this happens, action means do this. So in this case, whenever a new task is added in Google Task, it should get updated in the Google Sheet. So in the trigger, we have to select Google Task. Let us click on trigger window and select Google Task. Okay. Now it is asking for a trigger event. Let us click on this. Now in this case, I am selecting the trigger event as a new task. And let's click on connect. Here I am going to click on add new connection and connect with Google Task. Now here it is asking to choose an account. We are going to choose the account in which we want the data to be captured. That is my personal account. So I am selecting this account because my Google tasks are created in this account. Here is asking for some access. I am just clicking on continue. No worries, our data is 100% safe with Pabbly Connect. Okay, so now it is showing connected. Now you can see a task list is given. So you might be wondering from where this task list is come. So here when we go on our Google Task, we can find this task list over here. My task, Pabbly task, vendors, magnet brain task. All these are the task lists which I have created already, and the same has been fetched over here. See, let me refresh this. It is getting refreshed. Okay. Yes, the same task list we can see over here. My task, Pabbly task, magnet brain task and vendors. So this time I am selecting my magnet brains task list. And here also let me open the same task list, magnet brains task list. Okay. So I have selected the same task list at both the accounts, and now I am going to click on save and send test request. Now here you can see the label response is received, but here we cannot find any value over here because in this task list we have not created any of the tasks. So let us create a task here. See the task name as employee details, and the details I am going to give it as enter the details of the employees, enter the details of the employees, and let me give the date as 12th of August. Okay. So now here we can see we have entered the details. Now let us again click on save and send test request. Now here we can see the data has been captured. Okay. The title as employee details, the title this one which we have given over here, the same title, and enter the details of the employees as a description, as notes. See here, enter the details of employees, and the due date as 12th of August. The same date, yes, 12th of August. So here we have created an integration between Pabbly Connect and Google Task. Now let's click on save. Data saved successfully. Okay, so now in the action window, I want Google Sheets because I want the data to be sent from Google Task to Google Sheets. So let us select Google Sheets. Here in the action event, I am going to select it as add new row because I want a new row to be added every time. Let's click on connect. Here also again I have to click on add new connection and connect with Google Sheets. Now again it is asking for the choose an account. So this time I am again choosing the same account. And here again we have to give the access. Let's click on continue. Authorization successful. Great. So now we can see it is showing us select spreadsheet. So what is this spreadsheet? Let us go to my Google Sheets first. Okay, it is getting opening. Okay. Now here we can see vendor data, magnet brains, demo. So I have made some spreadsheets over here in my Google Sheets. So when I go to Pabbly Connect, we can find the same spreadsheets, vendor, magnet brains, and many other spreadsheets are also fetched out. So I'm going to select magnet brains spreadsheet. And let me open the same spreadsheet over here also, magnet brains demo. Okay. So now it is asking for me to select the sheet. So basically when we go to our Google Sheet, here in the bottom we can see the sheet numbers are given. So I don't have any other sheets, so I'm just selecting sheet 1. You can select the sheets in which you want to capture the data. So I'm selecting sheet 1. Okay. Now we can see title, notes and due date is given. So here we can see the title, notes and due date over here also that I have made in my Google Sheet, as well as in my Google Task. We have given a title, a description, that is a notes, and the date. Okay. So basically whatever the data we have captured in Pabbly Connect from our Google Task, we have to map the same details. The title, that is employee details, I'm going to map the same details here also. In title, we are going to select it as employee details. Now here in the notes where enter the details of employees, so I'm selecting this one. Google Task, and let us select the notes, enter the details of employees, this one. And the last one is due date. So the due date was 12th of August 2021. So I'm selecting the same due date. And this one is the due date. Let us select this. And now let us click on save and send test request. Okay, so here we can see that the data is being fetched and it has created an integration now. Let us click on save and check whether the data is being forwarded to our Google Sheet or not. Let's save it. The data saved successfully. Now let us move to our Google Sheet and we need to refresh this page. Okay, so here I want to give you an important information. Actually, Google Task may take response time of 5 to 10 minutes. So we may not get the response immediately. So no need to worry for that. We can just wait for some time and we can refresh the page and the data will be captured. So now here we can see the data is being captured in my Google Sheet, the Google Task which we have created over here. So now we can understand that our integration is working fine. So let us create another task. This time I am giving the task name as subscriber details. Okay, and I am giving the details as enter the details of the subscribers. And I'm giving the date as say 20 of August. And let's click on OK. Now again we have to go to our Google Sheet and we need to refresh it. And we need to refresh it. So here we can see the subscriber details, the data is already been fetched, the same data which we have filled in our Google task. Okay, so now let us see in a nutshell what we have done till now. Let me just minimize this windows. Okay, so in the trigger window we have selected Google task, so that whenever a new task is added in our Google's task, it should transfer the data to Pabbly Connect. And here in the action window, the Pabbly Connect is going to send the same data to our Google Sheets by creating a new row. So in this way, we have created a successful integration between Google Task and Google Sheets automatically. Thank you everyone.
Hello everyone. So in this video we will learn how to sync Google Tasks to Todoist. So imagine this, you are using Google Tasks to schedule tasks for your team. So now the idea is that once a task is scheduled in Google Tasks, there must be a task in Todoist. So here you have two choices. The first choice is copy all the details from Google Tasks, sort it out and manually create a task in Todoist. Now the problem with this approach is it's actually very repetitive and tiresome. So here I would suggest that you bring in some automation so that whenever a new task is created in Google Tasks, automatically create a task in Todoist. So in this video, we will be using Pabbly Connect to integrate Google Tasks and Todoist. The best part of using Pabbly Connect is there is no need for coding skills or programming knowledge. It can be done easily. Let me show you with an example. Okay, so basically this is my task board of Google Task. So I'm going to add a new task. So the name of the task is upgrade Windows 8. So this is a new task that I have created. So let me just add a description and the assignee. So the details are Windows 8 is slow. Okay. And we are going to add an assignee. So how about I add myself as the assignee. Okay. And we are going to set some due date. So let me just add a due date. Okay, so how about I keep it on 24th of May 2021. Okay, let me just click on OK and let me just complete this. Okay, so as you can see, a new task called as upgrade Windows 8 has been created, and we also set the description that is Windows 8 is slow, and the task is scheduled for I think May 24th. Okay, and that will be in 17 days. So let us have a look in Todoist. Do we have this task? Okay, so let me just refresh this. Okay, so as you can see, we have got the task in Todoist, upgrade Windows 8. Windows 8 is slow, and this is the time, that is basically the date, May 24th, that is on Monday. So basically this is the whole gist. You create a task in Google Tasks, it will be reflected as a task in Todoist. Now to begin the actual integration process, in the new tab, let me just type pabbly.com. So your obvious question is, why pabbly.com? Well, we have an app called as Pabbly Connect that will integrate Google Tasks and Todoist. Okay, so this is the website of pabbly.com. Let me just click on sign in. Okay, so this is basically the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. So as you can see, I already have made an account in Pabbly Connect. You can also build your own free account in just 2 minutes. So let me just scroll down, and here you will find Connect. Just click on Access now. Okay, so basically we are going to create a new workflow. Now, as you can see, I already have made a workflow. So as you can see, this is the workflow, Google Task. So I'm going to switch off this workflow. So the reason I'm switching off this workflow is since we are going to create a new workflow, this old workflow, in case if it is running parallel to this newly created workflow, it will create the problem of duplication of results. So that is why I have switched off this workflow. Now we are going to start from scratch by clicking on create workflow. Okay, so we are going to give a name to this workflow. So how about Google Task to Todoist. Todoist. And let me just click on create. Okay, so when you click on create, a window appears in front of you. This is called as the trigger window. So now we are going to create a new workflow. Now, if you directly want to access this workflow, you can clone the template of this workflow using the link which I have shared in the description box. So in the Choose app, how about we make it as Google Task? Google Task it is. Okay, let me just okay, so now in the trigger event, how about we make it as new task? Okay, so new task is a trigger event. So your obvious question is, what is a trigger event? Trigger is basically a if statement. It asks a question, if the condition is met, what should be done? For example, if a new task is made in Google Task, then what action should be taken by the system? Now we have one more trigger event, that is new task list. Now in case if you want more triggers of your choice, all you have to do is just approach the help section, and when you click on the help section, you will be directed to Pabbly forums. So why Pabbly forums? Well, if you have any integration request or trigger request, all you have to do is just make a request that you want so and so trigger events. So let me just take you back to Pabbly Connect and let me just click on connect. Okay, so in the new credentials, let me just click on connect with Google Task. Okay, so it is trying to authorize. Okay, so as you can see, I have a series of Gmail account, and the Google task that is present that I want to work with is located in this particular Gmail account. So I'm selecting this one. Okay, so it is trying to load. Now it is asking me to confirm my choice. Now before I press on allow, let me tell you something. Pabbly Connect doesn't take any chances with your data. Your data is 100% safe and secure with us. So on the basis of that trust, let me just press allow. Okay, so it is showing the authorization is successful. Just press OK. So by default, it is showing some task list. So let us explore that. So let me just click here. So these are all the tasks that is present in my Google Task account. My task, red, blue, pink, Supreme, Data Bank. So as you can see, these are all the task list we have. Let me just cross this. Okay, Data Bank, Supreme, pink. Okay, so these are all the tasks that we have. Task list we have pink, blue, Supreme. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to select one of them. So how about I select this one, Supreme. Okay, so I'm just selecting this one. So Supreme is one of the task list we have. So I want to make sure that from this particular task list, when we are creating a task, Pabbly Connect will capture the data. So basically, when I click on save and send test request, it will fetch the data of the recently created task. So let me show you. Let me just show you the recently created task. So the recently created task is bake cakes. So when I click on save and send test request, it will fetch the data of bake cakes. Let me show you. Okay, so as you can see, bake cake is the recently created task in this particular list. Now, as you may see, this task was created this task was due 178 days ago. Okay, so my point is, since for this particular list, this task is a newly created task. Now let me just create a new task. So the name of the task is upgrade Macintosh. Okay, so this is the task, and let me just press enter, and then we are going to enter some description, set an assignee, and also mention the due date. So we are going to mention the detail as C-line, that is a newer version of Macintosh. Version is faster. Yeah. And then we are going to add a date, and also let me first add an assignee. Okay, so in my case, I only have myself as the assignee at this point. So I'm selecting myself, but in case if you have already mentioned or already created many other assignee, you can add accordingly. Now in the date, we are just going to click on date, and let me just add 28th of May. That would work. Okay, so we have added it, and let me just cancel this. Okay, so we have added a new task, that is upgrade Macintosh. C-line version is faster, and this will happen in 21 days. This has to be upgraded in 21 days. And what I'm going to do here is I'm just taking you back to Pabbly Connect. And when I click on save and send test request, it will fetch the data of the upgradation of Macintosh, because it is the recently created task. So let me do that. Let me just click on save and send test request. Okay, so as you can see, we do have the data, upgrade Macintosh. Okay, so we do have the data, and that's the title basically, and then we have the description. So this is the description. Unfortunately, there is one problem with the description. Of course, we do have got the description, C-line version is faster, but this is coming as a note. And in case of note, it is mentioning the assignee name, okay, as well as the description, C-line version is faster. It's all okay, but the only problem is in between them there is a gap. So basically we have to remove the gap and just extract this particular description to create a task in Todoist. Now to do that, all we have to do is let me just introduce one more window. So using a particular app called as text formatter, we are going to just isolate the particular description we want. We basically want this description only, C-line version is faster, rest this detail is garbage, so we are just going to remove that. So let me just introduce the action event as split text. Let me just click on connect. Okay, so we have to mention the text to split. Okay, so in our case the text to split is this one. We are going to the first accordion and we are going to map this. So basically we just want this particular detail, C-line version is faster, because that's the description. Now in the separator, we want to make sure that the data after this bracket has to come. So I'm just going to make sure the separator is this bracket, okay, and the segment index is the last. So basically from here, the last is this. So let me just show you by clicking on save and send test request. Okay, so basically we have got the result, C-line version is faster. So basically using this detail, we are going to create a task in Todoist. So let me introduce one more action window. Now in the choose app, how about we make it as Todoist. Todoist it is. Now in the action event, how about we make it as a new task? Let me just load the action event. Okay, so this is the action event, create a task. Okay. So create a task is an action event. Of course, we have a lot of action events like update a project, create a project, delete a project. Now in case, just like the triggers, if you want more action events, just go to Pabbly forums and make a request that you want so and so action event. Let me go back to Pabbly Connect and let me just click on connect. Okay, so in the new credentials, new connection, we have to enter the token. So to get the token, let me just take you to Todoist. Okay, so this is my Todoist account, and first of all, to get the token, let me just click on this profile, and here you will find the drop down integrations. Click this. Okay, so this is the integrations page, and what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to scroll down, and here you will find at the bottom API token. I'm just going to copy this and I'm going to paste it here. So this is the token. Excellent. So let me just click on save. Now in the content, we basically map the content that we have received from Google Tasks. But before that, let me just select the project ID. Now, as you can see, we do have a ton of projects. Okay, so let me just show you all the projects I have in my Todoist. Now, if you want, you can also create some project, and that particular project, that newly created particular project, will be also reflected in Pabbly Connect. Let me just show you that. Okay, so let it load. So these are all the projects we have. Okay, content, salesware task, writer, sunshine, mouse project, OneNote, all the project that is present here is being simply shown here. Okay, so out of them, I'm just planning to create a task in this particular project, that is content. So this is the project that is content. So the idea is that once the task is created, it will be shown in this particular project, that is content. Okay, so now we have to mention the content. So this is the content. Okay, so we are just going to click here, upgrade Macintosh, enter a space, colon, again a space, and we are just going to map in the result, that is CLAN version is faster. So this is the description, this is the title. Now we can also enter the due date. So this is something that we have got. So this is the due date, we have mentioned as 28th. Okay, so the priority, I'm keeping it as natural. Okay, all we have to do is just click on save and send test request to create a task. So let me just take you to Todoist and let me just refresh this. Okay, so it is getting refreshed. Okay, so as you can see, we have got the result, upgrade Macintosh, CLAN version is faster, and we have also received the due date, that is 20th of May. Excellent. So the presence of this data shows that we have successfully integrated Google Tasks and Todoist with help of Pabbly Connect. Now, before you leave, let me just explain you the whole mechanism in a nutshell. So here I'm just going to minimize the trigger window, going to minimize the action window, and I'm going to minimize this action window. So basically, this is the whole process in a nutshell. First, you integrated Google Tasks to Pabbly Connect, and then you have used this action window called as the text format. The reason is we basically want to isolate the description. Okay, so basically we had got the description as well as the assignee as a single package.
So in this video, we are going to learn how to save new tasks from Google Tasks in Notion database. Now suppose guys, you and your team members are using Google Tasks to manage or assign all the tasks related to your work. And you want to create a backup, a record of all the tasks which are being created in your Google Task account. So let me tell you, you can completely automate this process of creating a backup in Notion. So the trigger of this automation will be creating a new task in our Google Task account. So whenever a new task will be created in your Google Task account, this automation will start, and using this automation, a new item with the same task details which are created in Google Tasks will be added in our Notion database. Now how you can set up this automation? To know this, you have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, here we are on Pabbly Connect's dashboard. Now to reach this dashboard, you will get a free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can create your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. And after reaching to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I would like to name my workflow as Google Task to Notion. And then just click on Create. Now you can see that our workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, we have 2 different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those 2 concepts, those 2 principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's begin with the trigger window. So the idea here is, first, we have to connect our Google Task account with Pabbly Connect in this trigger window, so that every time we create a new task in our Google Task account, automatically the details of that new task should be captured inside Pabbly Connect. Then after that, using Pabbly Connect, we are going to send those new task details to our Notion database, so that we can create a new item over there. We can add that Google Task into a Notion database as well, that too automatically. So let's begin, guys. Now here in trigger window, in choose app, search for Google Tasks. Select it. And then in trigger event from the drop down, we have 3 different trigger events. First one is the new task, second one is the new task list, and the third one is new task completed. So we are going to select this new task as the trigger event. Click on connect and select add new connection. Now here guys, we have to connect our Google Task account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, just click on this sign in with Google button and then select your Google Task account in which you are creating new task. And after selecting the account, just scroll down and click on continue. And as we click on continue, we will see our Google Task account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the first and the only thing it asks us is the task list. And in the drop down below, you can see a list of all the task lists which you have created in your Google Task account. So here guys, in my Google Task account, you will see that I have 4 different task lists. First one is Smart Tasks, second one is Trello, third one is the Pabbly team, and fourth one is the teamwork. So guys, I want to add that all the new tasks which I'm adding or creating in this task list named as teamwork, I want to add the details of all of those tasks into our Notion database. So here from the drop down, I'm going to select teamwork over here as the task list. After selecting your task list, whenever we are going to create on this save and send test request button, automatically the details or the data of the most recent task, the last task which we have created in this particular task list in our Google Task account, automatically the details of that task will be received inside Pabbly Connect over here. So let's do this. We are going to create a new task in this particular task list. For example, click on this add task button. The title is, just take an example of, let's enter the details. We have to integrate MailChimp inside Pabbly Connect. So this is the detail. Let's enter a due date. For example, 26th of January is the due date. Click on OK. After clicking on OK guys, you can see that just now we have added a new task in our Google Task account. Now we will get back to Pabbly Connect and click on this save and send test request button. And after clicking on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see that the details of the same task which we have just now created are received inside Pabbly Connect. So here we can see that we have the title of the task, MailChimp integration. Then here we can see the in notes, we can see the description of the task which we have added. And then here you can see the same due date, 26th of January 2023 as well, which we have added. Now this means guys, the first step of setting up this automation is completed. We have successfully connected our Google Task account with Pabbly Connect so that whenever a new task will be created in our Google Task account, automatically the details of that task will be received inside Pabbly Connect. Now after this, let's move to our next step, and that is sending this new task details to Notion. For that, just scroll down, come to our action window, and here in Choose App, search for Notion. Just select it. And then in action event from the drop down, select the action event as create database item. Click on connect and select add new connection. Now here guys, in this action step, we have to connect our Notion account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, click on this connect with Notion button. And then here basically because we have already logged into a Notion account in our browser, Pabbly Connect has detected the same account and it is asking us for the permission. Click on the select pages section. And then here it is asking us that the access permission of which page on our Notion account we want to give in Pabbly Connect. So here you can see that all the Notion pages which I have created in my Notion account over here, you can see all of these pages over here. And here it is asking us to which of these pages we want Pabbly Connect to give the access. So we are going to add the details in this particular page named as task details. So we are going to select it. But if you want, according to your requirement, you can basically give access to just a single page, or if you want, you can give access to all of the pages as well. Right now, I'm just selecting all the Notion pages which I have created and click on Allow Access button. After clicking on Allow Access, here you will see that our Notion account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the next thing it asks us is the database, that all the Notion pages whose access we have given while making the connection. In the drop down below, you can see a list of all the database which you have created in those pages. So I have this database named as task details. And in this particular database, we have created this table where we want to add the details of a new task from Google Task. So we are going to select this database task details from the drop down. If you have created any other database, you just have to select the database in which you want to add this data. Then after that, here you can see that we have some fields. Due date, task details, task name, and task ID. So in this table in the database, I have created 4 different columns of data: task ID, task name, task details, and due date. And you can see all of these 4 columns as field over here in Pabbly Connect. So here guys, in these given fields, we have to basically map or add the data which we want to add in the respective fields. Like we have received the due date of the task from Google Task. This is the response of the due date. So from this trigger response of Google Task, we are going to map this response over here in this field of due date. And guys, the process of mapping is very simple. Simply click on this field and in the drop down below from a list of all the responses which we have received from Google Task, select the respective response of due date and map it over here. So in this way, you can map the data in the respective fields according to your requirement. Now after this, let's map the task details as well. So here in task details, just click here. From the drop down, we have this response of notes as task details. Just select it and map it. Then we have to map the task name. So just click here and from the drop down, select the name, the title of the task. And at last, the task ID. Just map the ID as well. So in this way, you can basically map other details as well. You just have to create some more columns, some more fields in the table of your Notion database, and then you can map all of the respective details according to your requirement. The last field which we have is of content. Like if you want that new database item which we are creating or the new row which we are adding in this Notion database in this table, you can basically add some content to that particular page as well. If you want, you can write a descriptive content up to 2000 characters as well. But if not, you can ignore it too. So right now, I'm just ignoring this field and we will click on the Save and Send Test Request button. Now, when we click on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see that we have received some response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the data which we have mapped over here, basically the details of a new task which we have created in our Google Task account are now added in our Notion database. So let's check it. We will go to our Notion database And yes guys, here you can see that in the same table, in the same database, a new row of data is added. When we will open it, we will see all the details over here. We have the task ID, we have the name of the task, we have the due date, we have the task details and other details as well. And as I told you, if you want, you could have also entered some content. Then the content which, if you have added some content over here in this actions tab, the same content can be seen over here in this field and under this page. So in this way, guys, we can see that the connection or the automation workflow which we have created between Google Task and Notion using Pabbly Connect, this automation workflow is working perfectly fine. And after setting up this automation, we just have to test this automation once. So here, guys, we are going to create another task in our Google Task account. Click on this Add a Task button and give this task a name as, for example, real-time test. This is the name of the task. Let's add the detail as we are just testing this automation in real time. So this is the details, and let's check the date as 24th of January, tomorrow's date. Click on OK. So just now, guys, here you can see that we have added a new task in our Google Task account. And as we add this task, within 10 minutes, the details of this task will be captured by Pabbly Connect. So guys, the connection between Google Task and Pabbly Connect is a polling based connection. And in this type of connection, as you can see, every 10 minutes, Pabbly Connect will go to our Google Task account and check whether we have added any new task in last 10 minutes or not. If we have added any new task, it will get the details of all the new tasks which we have added, and this automation workflow will be triggered, it will be started. And then using this automation, we are going to add those details into our Notion database. So guys, what we have to do, we just have to wait for 10 minutes over here. Okay, so we have successfully waited for 10 minutes. Now let's check our Notion database. And yes guys, here you can see that the same task which we have just now created in our Google Task account is now added in our Notion database. We have the same task ID, we have the task name, real-time test. We have the description of the task and the due date of the task, 24th of January 2023, the same date which we have selected. So guys, we have tested this automation in real time and it is working perfectly fine. And using this automation, whenever a new task will be created in our Google Task account, automatically the details of that task will be added in our Notion database as a new item. So not just these applications, guys, you can connect plenty of other applications using Pabbly Connect. And one more important thing, you will find the clone link of the same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can clone this same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this workflow for free. Also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So if you want to try and test this automation, you can do it for absolutely free.
So in this video, we are going to learn how to create Google Tasks for Microsoft 365 calendar event. Now suppose guys, you and your team members are using Microsoft 365 calendars to manage all of your official tasks and event. And you want that whenever a new event is created in Microsoft 365, you want to create a task in your own Google Task account to maintain all the records of your tasks which you have to do. So here guys, let me tell you, you can actually automate this process. So in this automation, whenever a new event will be created in Microsoft 365, automatically with the same details, a task will be created in Google Task. So if you want to know how you can set up this automation, to know this, you have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, here we are on Pabbly Connect's dashboard. Now to reach this dashboard, you will get a free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can create your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. And after reaching to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I would like to name my workflow as Microsoft 365 Calendar to Google Task. And then just click on Create. Now you can see that our workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, we have 2 different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those 2 concepts, those 2 principles on which this whole automation works on, where the trigger says when this happens and the action says do this. So let's begin with the trigger window. Now the idea here is, First, we have to connect our Microsoft 365 calendar with Pabbly Connect so that every time we create a new event in Microsoft 365 calendar, the details of that event will be received inside Pabbly Connect. And after that, guys, using Pabbly Connect, we are going to send those new event details to Google Task so that we can create a new task over there. So let's see how it is done. Here in Choose app of the trigger window, search for Microsoft 365. Just select it. And after selecting it in trigger event from the drop down, select the trigger event as new calendar event. Then just click on connect and select add new connection. So here guys, we have to connect our Microsoft 365 account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, click on this connect with Microsoft 365 button and then select your Outlook account, Microsoft 365 account over here, in which you are creating new events. Then after that, just scroll down and click on continue. And as we click on continue, we will see our Microsoft 365 calendar account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, guys, what we have to do, here the first thing it asks us is the calendar. And here in the drop down, you can see a list of 4 calendars over here. So here guys, in my Microsoft 365 calendar account, I have also created 4 calendars. And the list of these 4 calendars can be seen over here inside Pabbly Connect. So here Pabbly Connect is asking us that the details of new calendar event from which calendar we want to get inside Pabbly Connect. So as you can see, I have selected this calendar named as Pabbly Connect. I have created this calendar and named it as Pabbly Connect. And I want that every time I create an event in this particular calendar, the details of that event should be received inside Pabbly Connect and this automation should trigger. So from the drop down, I'm going to select that particular calendar. After selecting the calendar, we just have to click on Save and Send Test Request. And when we click on Save and Send Test Request, the details of the last event, the most recent event which we have created in Outlook calendar, the details of that particular event will be captured inside Pabbly Connect. So let's click on Save and Send Test Request. Now when we click on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see that we have received some response. And in this response, you will see the details of the most recent event which we have created. Here you can see the name of the event. You can see the start date and time of the event over here. Then guys, we will scroll down. You will see some other details of this particular event like the description and all the other details. Like here's the description. And here is the category. So here guys, in my Outlook account, we will see we had an event named as Developers Conference. And here you can see this is the event named as Developers Conference. The date of this event is 8th of April 2023 and the time is from 11 a.m. And this is the description of this particular event. And here in Pabbly Connect, we will see we have received the details of the exact same event. The last event which I had created. Same event name. Then here you can see the same date. But guys, the time over here is pretty changed. Here guys, we have received the time according to UTC time zone. And while creating this event in Outlook calendar, I have entered the time according to my country's time zone, that is Asia, Kolkata, the India's time zone. So here guys, what we have to do, we have to change the time zone of the start date time over here in the next step. After that, we will scroll down further and we will see some other details regarding the same event. Like when was this event details were last modified, then here we will scroll down, you will see the importance, then here you can see the end time zone as well, end date and time as well. Like at what date and time this event is supposed to get ended. Then we will scroll down, here you can see the category, that is blue category, and here you can see that it's blue over here. The category of this event is blue, and you can see the description. So guys, the step 1 of setting up this automation is completed. We have successfully received the details of a new event from Microsoft Outlook calendar inside Pabbly Connect. Now let's move to step 2. And in step 2, we just have to change the format and the time zone of this particular date time response which we have received. So as I told you, we have received this response of event start date time in UTC time zone. And this time and date and time format is also a pretty complex format. So what we are going to do, we are going to change the format and the time zone of this start date time. And to do this, we will just scroll down, come to our action window, and we will use a feature of Pabbly Connect that is called date time formatter. So here in choose app in the action step, select date time formatter by Pabbly. Then after that, in action event from the drop down, select the action event as format date with time zone. Then just click on connect. After clicking on connect, the first thing it asks us is the date, that what is the response of the date whose format and time zone we want to change. So here we want to change the format and the time zone of this start date time. So we have to map this response of start date time over here in this field of date. And guys, the process of mapping is very simple. Simply click on this field and here in the drop down, you can see a list of all the responses which we have received from Microsoft 365 of a new calendar event. And out of all of these responses, select the response of start date time and it will be mapped over here. After mapping this, it is asking us from format, that in which particular format this date and time is present right now. So from the drop down, we are going to select this particular format in which this date and time is present right now. Then in to format, we have to select the format that in which format we want to change this date and time in. So in to format, we have selected this format and both of these are slightly different formats over here. Then it is asking us from time zone, that according to which time zone we have received the time in this date time response. So as I told you, we have received the date time response in UTC time zone. So in from time zone, we are going to select UTC. And in to time zone, I want to change the time zone to Asia Kolkata time zone. So that's why I have selected Asia Kolkata over here. You can basically select any time zone according to your choice, according to your requirement. And after this, just click on save and send test request. Now when we click on save and send test request, here you can see that we have received some response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. In this response, you can see the time zone is being changed. Now the date is 8th of April 2023, the same date, but the time which was showing here as 5:30 am is now changed to 11 am. The exact same time which time was showing us in Microsoft Outlook calendar of this event, that is 11 am. Now this means we have successfully changed the format and time zone as well. Now let's add these details to Google Task to create a task over there for this new event. Just click on this add action step button over here and then here in choose app, search for Google Task. Just select it. After selecting Google Task in action event from the drop down, select the action event as create task and click on connect. Now here guys, we have to connect our Google Task account with Pabbly Connect. So just select add new connection and click on sign in with Google. After clicking on sign in with Google, select your Google Task account in which you want to create this new task. Just scroll down and click on continue. And as we click on continue, we will see our Google Task account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the first thing it asks us is the task list, that in our Google Task account, in which particular task list we want to create this task. So here guys, in my Google Task account, you can see I have created 3 different task lists. First one is named as Smart Task, second one is Pabbly Team, and the third one is Teamwork. So I want to create a new task in this task list named as Teamwork. So I'm selecting task list as Teamwork over here. Then it is asking us for the task title, that what will be the title of the task. So I want the name of the event to be the title of the task. Here we have the response of the name of the event which we have created in Microsoft Calendar. So we just have to map this response of subject, the event name over here. Just click on this field and from the drop down from Microsoft Office 365's new calendar event response, select this response of subject or the event name. Then it is asking us for the notes. Like here in notes section, we have to enter the details of this particular task. So here guys, I want to add the description of this particular event over here. So we will just map the description from the drop down over here. Then it is asking us for the due date. Now here guys, we have to enter the due date in this particular format over here. That at what is the due date of this task. So I want to add the start date time as the due date of this particular task. That is why using date time formatter, we have changed the format and the time zone of this particular date's event start date. So what we are going to do from the drop down from date time formatter responses, we are just going to map the response of the formatted date and time over here. And then just click on save and send test request. Now when we click on save and send test request, here you can see that we have received some response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the details which we have entered over here, using these details, a new task has been created in Google Task. So let's check it. We will go to a Google Task account. And yes guys, here you can see that a new task named as Developers Conference has been created in our Google Task account. The description of the task says we will be discussing the new age technologies. The same description which we have added while creating an event in Microsoft Outlook calendar. And also you can see the same due date over here for that task, that is 8th of April. This means the automation workflow which we have created in this video is working perfectly fine. And using this automation, whenever a new event will be created in Microsoft Office 365, automatically the details of that event will be added as a new task in Google Task. Now here guys, after setting up this automation, we are going to test this automation workflow once in real time. And for that, we will go to our Microsoft 365 calendar and we are going to create an event over here. For example, I'm going to create an event for 10th of April. Let's create an event and let's add the title of this event as test event. Then let's add the time as, for example, this event is from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. This is the time duration. And we are just testing this automation. This is the description of this event. Let's click on save. So just now I have added a new event in my Microsoft 365 calendar. And we will see within 10 minutes, a new task will be created in my Google Task regarding the same event. And it basically takes 10 minutes of time because the connection between Microsoft 365 calendar and Pabbly Connect is a polling based connection. And in this type of connection, Pabbly Connect will check for new event details in our Microsoft 365 account every 10 minutes. So every 10 minutes, Pabbly Connect will check for new events. If we have created any new event in the last 10 minutes, it will fetch the details of that new event and then this automation workflow will trigger. It will start. So let's wait for a few minutes over here. Okay, so we have successfully waited for 10 minutes. Now let's check our Google Task account. So we'll go to Google Task. And yes guys, here you can see that a new event has been created in Google Task. The name of this task is the test event, the same event name which we have added over here in Microsoft Outlook calendar. You can see the same description and the same date as well. This means the automation workflow which we have created in this video is working perfectly fine and we have tested this automation in real time. So not just these applications guys, you can connect plenty of other applications using Pabbly Connect. And guys, one more important thing. You will find the clone link of this exact same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can clone the same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this automation workflow for free. Also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So if you want to try and test this automation, you can do it for absolutely free.
Welcome to this tutorial on how to create tasks in Google Task application for new Gravity Forms form submission. Guys, Gravity Form is a form builder plugin of WordPress by which you can create website forms, and Google Task is a task management tool by Google. And by integrating these two applications, you can streamline your workflow and ensure that you do not overlook any important task, right? So with the help of this automation, you do not have to manually create tasks in Google Task Board. It will be created automatically whenever any person is going to fill a form and submit the form that you have created using Gravity Forms. And you can set up this automation super simply without any coding. So let's set up this automation together. To set up this automation, we are using Pabbly Connect, which is an automation and integration tool. And this is the landing page of Pabbly Connect. And I'm going to paste the same link in the description as well. And from here, you can sign up for free. And you will get free automation tasks every month to test and set up your automations. So you can just sign up right now from the given link. And after that, you have to sign in and then select Pabbly Connect product and you will reach the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. From here guys, you have to click on this create workflow button. Here you can give a suitable name to your workflow as well. So I'm giving the name here as a Gravity Forms to Google Tasks. Okay. So after giving such names, just click on create button and you will see your workflow page loading up like this. And on this page, guys, you will find these two modules, the trigger and the action. So our automations are based on these two things only. So trigger is that event which starts a workflow, and action is an automated consequence or the response of the trigger. In our use case, getting a form submission via Gravity Forms plugin will act as a trigger to this workflow, and the action would be to create a task in Google Tasks task board. Okay. So here, guys, it will ask to choose the trigger application first. So in our case, Gravity Forms is the trigger application. So you have to search for it and you'll find it here. You have to select it. Then you have to connect it here in this trigger. So select the trigger event as new response. All right. And this webhook URL will appear here. So with the help of this webhook URL, we are going to create a connection, webhook based connection with Gravity Forms plugin. And after that, we are going to capture the response of that connection. All right. So to know how to connect with Gravity Forms using this URL, you can just read the instructions, and by clicking here on this link, you can reach this page, and here you can see in detail how you can use the URL. Let me show you directly. First of all, you have to open your WordPress and the Gravity Forms, the Gravity Form option. Okay. And this is the Forms plugin, and under Form plugin, guys, you have to open the form settings. Here is form settings. Click on it. Under form settings, on the left hand side panel, when you scroll down, you will find this webhooks option. Click on it. Under webhooks, you will find this add new button right here. Click on add new. Here you can give a name to this webhook connection. Here in this request URL field, you have to paste this URL that you got from your workflow. So just copy that and paste it here in this field like this. All right. And you have to select the request method as post, request format as JSON, or you can read it here. These are the same things. You can learn about these things from here, right? And after that, you have to scroll down and click on save settings. All right, so the webhook connection settings is saved here, right? Now you can open your form. Let me show you my form now. So guys, I have created a website page, and here I have this contact form. Let me open it for you. This is the form I have created for creating tasks in Google Tasks. You can customize this form according to you. I'm just showing you the demo of how this works. Okay. So I have created a simple form, and here you can see as we have copied the URL here, it started showing waiting for the webhook connections response. This means now we can perform a test submission. Test submission means now we are going to manually fill the form with some test details or sample details, and the submission of that form will be received here in this response section. Let me show you. Let me fill in the details as this dummy name. All right, so guys, I have filled in these details. The name of the person who is creating the task is dummy name. The email address, the task title is new task. The task details are these. We are testing an integration. All right, and here I'm clicking on submit button, and you can see the form is submitted. Okay, and let's check in our workflow if we got the data captured of this submission. And here you can see, guys, in this response section, we got the data captured. Here you can see in these labels the values. New task is the name. This is the description, and all the things are captured here, right? Now, guys, we can use this test data, and we can create a task in Google Task using this action step. So here in this action step, you have to search for Google Tasks. Okay, here is Google Tasks. Select it. Then select the action event as create task. Then click on connect. From here, select add new connection, then click on sign in with Google. And from here, you have to choose that Google account by which you have created the task board. Okay, so I'm selecting the account. Then you have to provide some additional access to your account. Just click on continue from here, and you will be connected with Google Tasks application. Okay, So here it is asking to select the task list. Let me show you the task board. This is my task board, guys, and these are the tasks lists. So from here I'm going to select the list name as Pabbly team. Here it is asking for the task title, nodes, due date. So we have received this test data, you can see here, in which we got the task title, the task description. Okay, so I'm going to map these labels here in these fields. So just click here and you can see the previous trigger step is appearing here in the drop down. So from here, just map this task name. Then in the nodes, I'm providing the description as this. And if you have the due date, you can map the due date. So I want the task to be completed on the day on the day on which we have received the form submission. So I'm going to map this date. You can see I have received here as the creation date of the form submissions date. But guys, you have to remember, you have to mention the date in this exact same format. But this is not a compulsory field, so you can leave this thing blank as well, right? So I'm leaving this blank. But if you want to add the due date, you must have the date in this format and you can map the date here, right? So let me show you that also, how you can change the format of this date. You can see we have received this date here, that date creation, the date created label in which we have got the date on which we have received the form submission. Now I'm going to change the format. For that, just click here on this plus icon and another action step will open up here in between. Here I'm going to search for a feature of Pabbly Connect which is called date time formatter. So using date time formatter, we can change the format of the dates and the time that we are receiving. So here in the action event, I'm going to select format date with time zone option, then click on connect. So guys, here you can see it is asking for the date of which you want to change the format. So here you can see we have received this date created label. So I'm going to map this label here. Just click here and from this first tab, you will find this label here. When you scroll down, the date created, just map it here, okay? And then it will ask from which format you have got the date. You have received the date. So we have received the date in this format. You can see YYY, DD, then hours, minutes and seconds. So you will find this format here like this, YYY, DD, hours, minutes and seconds. So you can select it here. Okay, then we want to convert this date into this format, YYYY, DD, and a T in between and hours, minutes and seconds. So you can select this format here, okay? Right, and this format is actually this one. Let me show you. Okay, yeah, this one. Now guys, you can select the time zone. So my time zone is Asia, Kolkata. You have to select yours, and I want to keep the time zone as it is. So I'm going to select Asia, Kolkata here also. And after that, click on save and send test request button. And we got the date converted into the correct format. Now we can map this result label here in this due date step field. And now when you click here, you can see the previous steps are not appearing because we have added one more step in between the steps. So we need to refresh this connection with Google Tasks. So just click on connected one more time. From here, keep this existing connection option selected and then click on save one more time and your connection will be refreshed. Now when you click, you will find the previous steps, and from the second step, map the due date label. All right, now click on save and send test request button, and this task will be created in this Pabbly team group or list. Let me show you. I am going to click on save and send test request button, and this is the response we have received. Let us check in Google Task Board if we got a new task. And here you can see we got a new task created and the due date is today. And you can see the name, the title of the task and the description is the same as we have mapped here like this, okay? So this is how it is going to work, guys. So we are done setting up this automation, and you have to set up it only once. After that, it will work silently in the background. You do not even have to open it. And in real time, whenever you are going to receive a form submission and the task details using Gravity Forms, the tasks will be created and will be reflected in the list of your task boards automatically. And guys, you can use this workflow as well, as I'm going to paste the link of this same workflow in the description. You can clone it in your own free Pabbly Connect account and start using this automation instantly.
Hello everyone, in this video we are going to learn how to add Google Tasks for new files in Google Drive. So whenever a new file will be uploaded in Google Drive, a new task will be created in Google Task with that action. So we are going to create this automation with the help of Pabbly Connect, where the trigger will be the new file uploaded in Google Drive and our action will be to create a task for that file in our Google Task. Let us learn how to do that. So let us learn that how can you create a task in your Google Task every time a new file is uploaded in your Google Drive. So let us quickly sign in into our account. That will take me to this place where I can see all the applications provided by Pabbly. And we are going to use Pabbly Connect to create this automation. Click on Access Now. That will take me to the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. Reaching here, you can see all the previous workflows created by me. But you have to create this workflow from scratch. So we are going to click on Create Workflow, a big blue button on your right side, and give a suitable name to your workflow. I'm going to name it as Add Google Task for new files in Google Drive. Click on Create and then a blank workflow will be created for you. Like you can see on your screen, you will find two major concepts of Pabbly Connect over here, trigger and action. Now before that, I must remind you that make sure you open your Google Drive over here and your Google Task along with your calendar so that you can cross-check your activity and also connect your accounts easily. So now let us understand the functioning of trigger and action over here. Trigger says when this happens and action says do this, which means that trigger is going to be the first application where the event will take place manually. That is, we are going to perform. For example, we are going to upload a file on Google Drive, which will be the trigger of this workflow. And then the action application, that is Google Task, will create a task based on that specific file uploaded on Google Drive. That is, action application will automatically perform the assigned action. So let us choose our trigger application as Google Drive. And the trigger event will be new file. Click on Connect, add new connection, and as you all know that Google Drive is a Google application, so you have to sign in with your Google account. Choose your Google account over here and click on Allow. This is how you give access to Pabbly Connect to fetch the new file information whenever a new file is uploaded. When you click on Save and Send, Test Request. So let us go back to our Google Drive and upload a new file from here. File upload and then choose a file that you want to upload. Like I want to upload this assignment PDF over here. And see, on your bottom right corner you can see one upload complete. So we'll find that one assignment over here. Once it's done, click on Save and Send Test Request. And you will receive the assignment one file over here. You scroll down, you will find all the details related to the user of the account, and also the name of the assignment or all the other details related to that specific PDF over here. One thing that is important right here is the created date, the date on which this file is created. So which makes it very clear. See, this is the date, that is today's date and today's time. So which will make it clear that when is the due date of the task, 2-3 days later once this file is uploaded. For that we will put a date time formatter over here. Datetime formatter, I am taking the case as the teacher has uploaded the file, assignment file on Google Drive, and then on Google Task, a task will be created that the assignment has to be submitted as mentioned in the PDF uploaded on Google Drive. And when you're supposed to submit the assignment, like this, the created date is today, so 3 days later the Google Task is having the due date. So we are going to add time to the existing time. That is why we are using datetime formatter. That is a feature built inside Pabbly. You can do any changes or format the date, time zone in a different way using this feature. Click on Connect. Since it is built inside Pabbly, no separate way of connection is required. First of all, you have to enter the date that you need to format. So you can search it over here by clicking in Search and Map Data and type over here Create Time. So this is the date you want to change. Now carefully study the format of the date, that this is an ISO 8601 format. So you have to make sure that you will change the format here as well. Now what is the expression? You can read it down here. You want to add hours, month or days. So you want to give 4 days to it. Like you will write plus 4 days, which means that this date will be added 4 more days, and that will be the result of the final date. That is going to be the due date for our Google task. So the format over here is this one. If you study it carefully, it has a Z in the end and T for time, which this format also has. So no change in the format should be there. Both to and from format will be same. Click on save and send test request and see the response will be having 22 May. Today is 18th May and it's 22 May. So 4 days have been added. So a due date is ready. Now click on this plus button, add one more action step and type over here Google Task. The event will be to create a task over here. Click on connect and again it is Google application. So click on add new connection and sign in with your Google account. Choose your Google account over here and click on allow. This is how you give access to Pabbly Connect to create a task in Google Task. Now what is the name of the list? So there is just one list, my task, and we are going to create a task in that list only. What is the task title? So you can write over here assignment 1. Okay, this is the task title. Note, so you can put the description of the assignment over here. Okay, so I have given little bit of instructions over here, and when it comes to due date, you see the format is same as we have changed. So we are going to take it from this result because this is the due date. The creation date was today and due date is 4 days later. So all of the fields are filled, nothing is left. So click on save and send test request and you will see that a task will be created. See, it is created over here. No error is shown, which means our workflow is completely correct. Close this window and this is the workflow. Let us go to our Google Task and check. Yes, this is the assignment. If you open the assignment, you see that the description is given over here and this is the name of the assignment and also the due date is given below it, which means that a task has been created with the help of this workflow. So every time the teacher uploads a new file on Google Drive about any project, assignment or any notes, so a task will be created according to that. So this was the whole workflow. I hope this helped.
In this video, I'll show you how you can share your Google Tasks with your team on Google Chat automatically so that whenever you are creating any new task here, you do not have to manually copy the task details and share with your team manually. So if you also want to start sharing your task details automatically with your team on Google Chat, then you will have to build an integration in Google Tasks and Google Chat, and I'm going to integrate these two with the Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing integration and automation software and I am an existing user of Pabbly Connect. So here you can see I am already logged in. You can also create your free account in just 2 minutes from this sign up free button and you will also get free tasks to test this automation. Now once you will reach to the dashboard, click on this blue button that is create workflow and provide any random name to your workflow, to your automation. Okay, so I have pasted the name as one new task created in Google Tasks, then send messages on Google Chat with the team. Okay, now click on create and then you will find 2 boxes in front of you. Okay, so these are trigger and action. So trigger means when this happens, action means do this. So whenever this happens, then automatically do this. Understand with an example also. Let's say whenever a sale happen in a payment gateway application, then automatically send an email via Gmail application. Okay, so this is how you need to always select the applications in which you are building an automation. Okay, according to our use case, whenever you create any new task into this Google Task application, then automatically share these task details with Google Chat application. Okay, so this is how, again I'm repeating, you need to always select the applications in which you are building an automation. Okay, now I am going to connect to Google Task and Google Chat with the Pabbly Connect one by one. Okay, so firstly you will have to select a trigger event. Okay, so I want that whenever any new task is created into the Google Task, this automation should trigger, or you can say Pabbly Connect should capture those details. Okay, so I have selected that specific trigger event. Now I am going to connect to Google Task with Pabbly Connect. For that you'll have to go with the new connection, simply sign in with the Google and provide the access of your account. Well, I'll go with the existing connections because I have already made the connections. Okay, once you'll go with the new connection for the first time, further you can also go with the existing connection, and here you can see whatever the tasks are available, the task list are available inside my Google Task account have started visible here. Okay, I just have a single task only, so that is why it is showing a single task. Okay, now simply click on this button save and send test request, and then you will see it will fetch the most recent task details which I have created into my Google Task. So, okay, I'm sorry, into my Google Task. So let us check that which particular task has got created recently. Alright, so here you can see one task is already created for this particular date. Okay, here you can see the name of the task is the business meeting. The description is we have a meeting with Mr. Roy, that is on Tuesday, April 11th, 11 a.m. Okay, so let me show you the same details here inside the dashboard of Pabbly Connect. So if I will show you, we have the same title, we have the notes as well, that is we have a meeting with the Mr. Roy. Okay, and we even have the due date. Okay, so this is how you can capture your task details in every 10 minutes. Yes, in every 10 minutes, because this trigger will check for the new data in every 10 minutes. So assume that you have created around 5 to 10 tasks into this Google task. So in every 10 minutes it will check whether a new task has been created into the Google Calendar or not. If the automation will find out any new task, it will capture those task details inside Pabbly Connect. Now I am going to create a new task in front of you, and then I'll show you how these details will be captured via Pabbly Connect. Okay, so let's say we will have to publish a blog. Okay, publish a blog on next Monday. Okay, and here I will share the blog details, that is blog name is importance of digital marketing, and you can find the link of blog in Drive. Okay, or you can say in Google Drive. Okay, and here I will specify the next Monday date. Okay, so next Monday, it is actually 10th of April. I have scheduled this timing. Let us also schedule the timing as well. Okay, that is 10:30. Okay, click on OK. Okay, so my task has got created here into the Google Calendar. Coming back to Pabbly Connect, and I'll click on this button once again, and this time I'll see whether it has got captured the new task details or not. And here you can see the title is same, that is publish a blog on next Monday. We even have the updated date. We have the notes as well, that is blog name is digital marketing. Okay, importance of digital marketing, and you can find the link of the blog in Drive. Okay, so the spelling is not correct. I'll have to first correct. I should actually correct it. Alright, so I have corrected the details and have clicked on this button once again so that I can capture the correct data. Alright, it is here, and we also have the due date, that is 10th of April 2023. Okay, and now the presence of this data clearly shows that the connection in between our Google task, okay, in between our Google task and Pabbly Connect is working absolutely fine. Okay, and the first step of our automation is also done. Now I want that whenever any new task is created, the details should be shared on Google Chat. Okay, so I have already selected the application. Now I am going to select the action event as create a message, since I wanted to do the same. Now just like we have built a connection in Google Task and Pabbly Connect, now I am going to connect Google Chat with the Pabbly Connect. Okay, and as soon as I have clicked on that button, here you can see it is connected, since we are already logged into our Google Chat account. Now it is asking for the chat webhook URL and the message. Okay, so from where you can get this chat webhook URL, you will have to visit this particular documentation. Okay, all the instructions are available here. Okay, so let me show you. Firstly, you'll have to go to your Google Chat application, and let's say I have created this particular space, this particular group with the name Pabbly Marketing Team, and I want to share all my task details into this specific group only. So I'll have to open this drop down, basically this arrow button, and then you'll have to go to this apps and integration section, and here click on this manage webhooks option, and here you can see one chat webhook URL is already created. So I'm going to delete this existing URL so that I can show you how you can do the things from the scratch. And now you'll have to provide any random name. So let's say I'll provide the name something like any random name, connection with the Google task. Okay, I'm providing this particular name. All right, okay, it is not taking this limit. Okay, connect with Google task. Okay, limit was ended, so I have shortened my test. Now asking for the avatar URL. Well, you can get this avatar URL from this Google from this documentation as well. Here you can see. So I am going to currently copy the same avatar URL. You can provide your avatar URL as well. Okay, so I have provided the same. Click on save, and here you can see the chat webhook URL we have. Okay, I am going to copy the same, come back to Pabbly Connect and paste the same URL here. Now finally it is asking for the message. Okay, what kind of message you would like to share with your team? Alright, so I have already created a message into my notepad so that I can save a time and I can show you the things very quickly. Okay, so here I want that, hello team, I have recently added a task in the Google Task, sharing the details below, and here I am going to also add the task name, the task description here, the task deadline also. Okay, and if you have the task time, you can also share the task timing, and make sure the task should be completed on the given time, I'm sorry for that, without fail, thanks your manager. Okay, so I would like to send this particular message, and here I have created a single message only, and the same message will get sent to my team every time with a new task details, but just the task name, description and deadline date will be replaced. How? So I am going to provide the details from the data which we have received into our previous step, and don't worry, I don't need to manually copy this data and paste it here. I'm going to map this data, and mapping is very simple inside Pabbly Connect. Simply click on this particular field and you will find the above data here in the drop down, and here we have the title of the blog. So firstly I will map the title. Okay, so here we have the title. Here you can see the title is here, asking for the description. So remember, we have the description as the notes. Okay, so here we have the description, I have again mapped it. Lastly, asking for the deadline. Okay, so let me search for the deadline as well. Okay, it was something date. Okay, this is the updated date. Well, I'm looking for the due date, so I'll have to search with that particular data. Alright, so I have mapped the name, the description and the deadline of 10th of April 2023. Okay, so in this way you can also share your task details with your team by composing a message here, and don't worry, whatever the details we have mapped here will be replaced automatically when this automation will work in real time. Okay, and whatever the details we have provided manually, this data will remain same. Okay, so this is how this automation is going to take place. Okay, so I have clicked on that button, save and send test request, and waiting for that message to arrive, and here you can see the message is already arrived. Hello team, I have recently added a task into the Google Task, sharing the details below. The task name is publish a blog on next Monday, the task description is this, and the task deadline, make sure that the task should be completed on the given time without fail, thanks your manager. Okay, so this is how now onwards, every time you are going to create any new task here, in every 10 minutes the details will be shared automatically with your team as well. And to automate this process, you need to create this automation inside Pabbly Connect just once. After that you can close Pabbly Connect, you can sit back and relax, because Pabbly Connect will take care of all the tasks in the backend. You do not have to do anything manually after setting up this automation. Okay, and just in case if you want to access this automation inside your Pabbly Connect account, I will also attach the link of this workflow. Simply click on this link and sign up into the Pabbly Connect, and then you will be able to access this workflow inside your Pabbly Connect account, that too for free.
So in this video, we are going to learn how to send new tasks from Google Tasks to Slack. Now suppose guys, you are using Google Tasks to create and manage all of your regular based tasks. And you want that whenever a new task you are creating in Google Tasks, you want to share the same task into your Slack channel to update your team members with the task details. So let me tell you, you can actually automate this process. So in this automation, whenever a new task will be created in Google Tasks, automatically the details of that task will be shared as a channel message on our Slack channel. Now how you can set up this automation? To know this, you have to come with me to my screen.
So as you can see, here we are on Pabbly Connect's dashboard. Now to reach this dashboard, you will get a free sign-up link of Pabbly Connect in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can create your free Pabbly Connect account in just 2 minutes. After reaching to this dashboard, just click on Create Workflow and give this workflow a name. For example, I would like to name my workflow as Google Tasks to Slack. And then just click on Create. Now you can see that our workflow is open over here. And in this workflow, we have 2 different windows. First one is the trigger window and second one is the action window. So triggers and actions are basically those 2 concepts, those 2 principles on which this whole automation works on. Where the trigger says, when this happens. And the action says do this. So let's begin with our trigger window. Now the idea here is, first, we have to connect our Google Task account with Pabbly Connect in the trigger window, so that every time a new task will be created in our Google Task account, automatically the details of that newly created task will be captured inside Pabbly Connect. And after that, using Pabbly Connect, we are going to send those new task details as a channel message on our Slack channel, so that we can update our team members for the same task as well. Now let's see how it is done. So here in Choose App, search for Google Task. Just select it. And then after selecting our trigger application, in trigger event from the drop down, we are going to select new task as the trigger event. After selecting our trigger event, click on connect and select add new connection over here. Now we have to connect our Google Task account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, click on this sign in with Google button and then select your Google Task account in which you are going to create the new task. After selecting it, just scroll down and click on continue over here. After clicking on continue, we can see that a Google Task account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the first thing it asks us is the task list. And here in the drop down, you can see all the task list which you have created in your Google Task account can be seen over here. So in my Google Task account, you can see that I have created 3 task lists. First one is my task, second one is Pabbly team, and third one is the teamwork. So the new task from which task list we want to get inside Pabbly Connect. So new task from which particular task list we want to send on Slack. We have to select that particular task list over here. So for example, I'm going to select teamwork as the task list. I want to get the new task from this particular task list named as teamwork. Now after selecting our task list, we just have to click on save and send test request. And when we click on save and send test request, the details of the most recent task, the last task which we have created in this task list in Google Task will be captured inside Pabbly Connect. So before doing that, let's create a new task over here. I'll just click on this add task button. We are going to name this task as, for example, demo task. This is the name of the task. And we are just setting up this automation. This is the description of this particular task over here. We are just setting up this automation. Let's add a date, for example, 5th of April 2023. This is the date of tomorrow. Okay, so here guys, just now we have added a new task in our Google Task account. And after adding this, let's get back to Pabbly Connect and click on save and send test request. After clicking on save and send test request, here you can see that we have received some response from Google Task. And this is the response. These are the details of the last task, the most recent task which we have created in our Google Task account. Here you can see the title of the task. You can see the date and time, that at what date and time this task was created. Here we can see the description, the note of the task and all the other details. And you can see the due date too. This means the step 1 of setting up this automation is completed. We have successfully received the details of a new task from Google Task inside Pabbly Connect. Now let's move to step 2. And in step 2, we want to share the same details of a new task from Google Task as a message on our Slack channel. So to do this, just scroll down, come to our action window, and here in Choose App, search for Slack. Select Slack over here. After selecting Slack, in action event from the drop-down, select the action event as Send Channel Message. Click on Connect and select Add New Connection. Now here guys, we have to connect our Slack account with Pabbly Connect. And to make this connection, click on this Connect with Slack button. And then here guys, we have 2 different options to make this connection. Either we can use a user-based connection or we can make a bot-based connection over here. So here it is asking us for the token type, the connection type. You can see a hyperlink in the help text. By clicking on it, you can see a complete difference, that what is the difference between a user-based connection and a bot-based connection in Slack. So here at this page, you can see the difference. Right now in this video, I'm going to set up a user-based connection and click on save. Now because guys, I have already logged in my Slack account in my browser, you can see that Pabbly Connect has detected the same account over here. And after this, here we just have to scroll down and click on allow. By clicking on allow guys, you can see that our Slack account will get connected with Pabbly Connect. After making this connection, the first thing it asks us is the channel, that in our Slack account, in which particular channel we want to send the message. So I have created this channel named as new task. So from this drop down, here you can see a list of all the channels which we have created on our Slack account. And we are going to select that channel on which we want to send the message, new task. After selecting the channel, the next thing it asks us is the message. So what is the message which I want to send on my Slack channel? So in the message, I want to send the details of a new task which we have received from Google Tasks. So I want my message to be, hello team, we have a new task. Task name, description, and due date. So these are the details of a new task which we have received from Google Task in trigger window. And here from this responses of a task, we have the title of the task, we have the description of the task note, and the due date as well. One by one, we have to add these same details over here in this message field. And to add these details, we have to basically map these responses of task details over here in this field of message. And guys, the process of mapping is very simple. Simply click on this field of message. Like in this message, in front of task name, I want to mention the name of the task. So we'll just bring our cursor over here, and after clicking here, in the drop down, here you can see a list of all the tasks which we have created in Google Task. And out of all of these details, out of all of these responses which we have received from Google Task, select the response of title and map it over here. In the same way, from the drop down, map the description in front of description and map the due date in front of due date as well. So this is the kind of message I want to send on my Slack channel whenever a new task is created in Google Tasks. And in this message, we are going to mention the details of the newly created task as well. After creating the message with the task details, it is asking us image URL and image alt text. So using this action of Slack, if you want, you can also send some kind of image on our Slack channel. If you want to send an image, just enter the URL, the link of the image in this field, and enter the text, the name of the image over here. Right now in this video, we are not going to send any image, so we can ignore this field for now. Then it is asking us bot name. So a bot is going to send these messages on our Slack channel. So what will be the name of that bot? For example, I would like to name my bot as Pabbly. So I have entered the bot name as Pabbly. If you want, you can give any name to your bot. Like instead of Pabbly, you can give the bot name as Google Task as well. Then it is asking us for the bot icon. Like you can actually change the icon, the display picture of bot as well. You just have to enter the link, the URL of an image which you want to set up as a display picture of that bot over here. Right now, these fields are not mandatory like bot icon, auto expand, link username and channel, and all of these fields are not mandatory, not required right now. So I'm just going to ignore these fields for now. And after that, just click on Save and Send Test Request. After clicking on Save and Send Test Request, here you can see that we have received some response. And this response seems to be a positive response to us. This response shows that the message which we have created over here with all the details of a new task from Google Tasks, the same message has been sent on our Slack channel. So let's check it. We will go to a Slack channel, and yes guys, here you can see that on our channel, a new message is being shared. The message says, hello team, we have a new task. Task name demo task. Description, we are just setting up this automation, and this is the due date, 5th of April 2023. So the same details which we have entered while creating this task in our Google Task demo task, we are just setting up this automation, and the due date is 5th of April. This means the automation workflow which we have created between Google Task and Slack using Pabbly Connect, this automation is working perfectly fine. Now after setting up this automation, let's test this automation workflow once. And to test it, we will just go to our Google Task account and we are going to create another task. For example, I would like to name this task as real-time test. The details are, we are testing this automation in real time. So this is the description. Let's add a due date as 10th of April over here. So just now I have created a new task in my Google Task account, and we will see within 10 minutes the same task details will be shared as a channel message on our Slack channel. And it basically takes 10 minutes because here in the trigger of our automation workflow of Google Task, you can see that it is written every 10 minutes. When you will hover on it, it says this trigger will check for new data in every 10 minutes. This means Pabbly Connect will go to our Google Task account every 10 minutes and it will check that whether a new task details are added or not. Or if we have added any new task details, it will get the details of that new task, bring back to Pabbly Connect, and then this automation workflow is going to start. It is going to get triggered. So let's wait for 10 minutes over here. Okay, so we have successfully waited for 10 minutes. Now let's check our Slack account. And yes guys, here you can see that on our Slack account, you can see the same message. We have the same task name, real-time test, we have the same description, and also the same date 10th of April 2023. The same details of a task which we have entered while creating the task in Google Task. This means guys, the automation workflow which we have created in this video is working perfectly fine. And we have tested this automation in real time too. So not just these applications, you can connect plenty of other applications using Pabbly Connect. And guys, one more important thing. You will find a clone link of this exact same workflow in the description box below. By clicking on that link, you can clone this same workflow into your own Pabbly Connect account and use this automation workflow for free. Also, let me tell you, Pabbly Connect offers you a free plan. And in this plan, you will get some free tasks every month into your own Pabbly Connect account. So if you want to try and test this automation, you can do it for absolutely free.
In this video, we are going to see how to create Google Calendar detailed event from new Google Tasks. So let's say every time a new task is created on Google Tasks, you want to create a detailed event on Google Calendar. Now to do this, you will have to integrate the two applications, and the same thing can be done using Pabbly Connect software. Here your trigger application would be Google Task and your action application would be Google Calendar. Now how can you do this yourself? Integrate and automate this entire process. To understand that, let me take you to my screen. To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we do that, here we have reached the landing page of this software. On the right hand side, you can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. So if you are an existing user, simply click on sign in, and if you are the new user, click on this tab sign up. It won't take more than 2 minutes, and also at the time of account creation, you will get 100 free tasks. So now I'm going to click on sign in as I'm an existing user here, and here we have reached all applications page. Let's click on access now for Pabbly Connect as we are doing this integration using Pabbly Connect software. On the right hand side of this dashboard, you can see a tab create workflow. Let's click on this. And a dialog box has appeared which is asking us to name this workflow. Now here my objective is to create new Google Calendar detailed event from a new Google task, which basically means that every time a new Google task is created, then automatically a detailed event should be created in Google Calendar. So I'm going to click on create. And as I do that, here we have reached another window which has got two extremely important events. One is trigger, another one is action. Now triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger is when this happens, action says do this. Basically, action here is the response of your trigger application. Now as per this integration, my trigger application will be Google Task. So I'm going to click on this. Now the trigger event here would be new task. So this is the event that is going to make my workflow run. Here you can see that it is written, this trigger will check for new data in every 10 minutes. Basically this means that this trigger application has a polling time of 10 minutes. The workflow is going to run after every 10 minutes to fetch for new data. Now I'm going to click on connect, and here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with the Google Tasks account. Now to set up this connection, we are going to select add new connection, then sign in with Google. Here we have to select the account, and once we have selected the account, Pabbly Connect Tasks want to access my Google account. Now this is absolutely secure, so I'm going to click on allow. And as I do that, here we can see that the authorization has been successful, which basically means that Google Task is now connected with Pabbly Connect. And now here I have to mention the task list. So I already have created a list which is my task. It is there. So here you can see this is my Google Calendar and here are the Google Tasks. So I already have created a list. The name is my tasks, and you can create your own list by clicking on this icon. So as you click, so you would be able to name it, right? The list name is my task. So I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect. Here I'm going to click on save and send test request. As I click on save and send test request over here, you can see that we have received the response. So this is the last task that was created there. So this is the last task that was created. Let me show you the details. So this is the name of the task, and this is the description, and this here is the due date. Now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect. So this start date of your task and this due is the due date of your task. This here is the description, and then this is the name of your task. Once we have received this, I wish to create a detailed event in my Google Calendar. So I'm going to go to Action application, and here I'm going to look for Google Calendar. Here it is. And now the action event here would be to create a detailed event. Let's click on connect. Here again Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with the Google Calendar account. I'm going to select add new connection and then sign in with Google. Again here we are supposed to select the account and then provide the access. So I've clicked on allow, and here we can see that the authorization has been successful. So here we have to first enter the calendar. So I have entered the email address with which my calendar is associated. Now here I have to map the title of my event. How do I map this? As I click on this, it is going to show me the previous step, and this is the title of my task. This is known as mapping. Mapping is important because every time the workflow runs, if I had written this manually, it would have only taken the manually written data every time the workflow would have run. So if I want that it should inculcate new data, I have to map it. So that's why mapping is important. Now for the description, again, I'm going to click on the previous step, and this here is the description. Then the location. So if you wish to enter the location, you can do that. For the start date time, I'm going to enter this, and this is exactly in the same format. So please make sure that if the date that you have is not in the same format, here you can use a feature by Pabbly, which is date time formatter, and format the date. Again, the date and time. So this here is the date and time. Then the time zone. So here I'm going to go ahead with Asia Kolkata. You can select the time zone as per your zone. Then we have the visibility guest. So if you wish to add any email address here, you can do that. Reminder method is email. Then minutes before reminders. So what is the time duration that you wish to add? You can add it here. If you want to give it some particular priority, so you can add the color code over here, the color ID. Then show me as free or busy. So I have selected as available. Then guests can modify the event. So I don't want them to modify. So it is false here. Event recurrence rule. So again here you can use this particular tool if you wish that the same event must be recurred. Add conferencing. So I have selected no. Let's click on save and send test request. And here we have received the API response, which basically means that now an event should be created in my Google Calendar. And here you can see that yes, a task has been created here in Google Calendar, which basically means that this integration process is a complete success. But we also need to check this in real time. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a task here. Let's say the name of the task is new task, and then I have got the details. So these are the demo task details. Okay, then I need the due date. So let's say it is 30th of January. And if I wish to set a time for the reminder, it is 11 a.m. Let's click on OK. So here I have got the details. So now what I'm going to do is, as soon as a task is created here, what should happen? Automatically, it should be added in my Google Calendar. So for 30th of January, it should be here. So now we are going to wait. And here you can see that yes, the task has been included. This basically means that our integration process is a complete success. Now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect to understand what we have done. So this is an extremely easy two-step integration process where our trigger application was Google Task and the event was new task. And then our action application was Google Calendar where the event was create detailed event. I hope this is absolutely clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the description box of this video. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. Apart from this, if you have any specific integration to work on, you can always write to us.
In this video, we are going to see how to create Google Tasks for new Google Form responses. So let's say that you're using Google Form as a form builder application where every time a new response has been received. So with this information, you want to create a task in Google Task. Now for this, you will have to set up some integration between the two applications, and the same thing can be done using Pabbly Connect software. Here your trigger application would be Google Forms and your action application would be Google Task. Now how can you do this yourself? Integrate and automate this entire process. To understand that, let me take you to my screen.
To begin with the process, we are first going to type the URL pabbly.com/connect, and as we do that, here we have reached the landing page of this software. On the right hand side, we can see two options, sign in and sign up for free. So if you are an existing user, simply sign in. If you are a new user, click on this tab sign up. It won't take more than 2 minutes, and also at the time of account creation, you will get 100 free tasks. So now I'm going to click on sign in. As I do that, here we have reached all applications page. Let's click on access now for Pabbly Connect. And here we have reached the dashboard of this application. On the right hand side, we can see a tab create workflow. Let's click on this. And a dialog box has appeared which is asking us to name this workflow. Now here my objective is that every time a form is filled, and here I have taken the form builder application as Google Forms. So every time we receive a new response, then with the information received, we should be able to create a Google task. So I'm going to name it as create Google task for new Google Form responses. Let's click on create. As we do that, here we have reached another window which has got two extremely important events. One is trigger, another one is action. Triggers and actions are basically those two principles or concepts on which this entire automation works. Trigger this when this happens. Action is do this. Basically, action is the response of our trigger application. Now, as per this integration, my trigger application would be Google Forms. Let's click on this. And now the trigger event. So this is the event that will make my workflow run. So it would be new response received. Here you can see that it is written that this trigger will instantly capture new incoming data and the workflow execution will start in real time, which means that it has got no polling time. Here we have received a webhook URL which is going to act as a bridge for connecting Pabbly Connect and Google Forms. I'm going to copy this, and now we are supposed to follow the following steps. So please read this carefully, and now I'm going to show you what we have to do. So first we have to go to our Google Forms. So this is my Google form that I already have created. The name is task details, new task. And here I have the following fields, task name, notes, then I've got task list. So these are the lists which are already there in my Google task, and I just want to associate my new task in one of my list. And then we have got the due date. So the last field that we have here, so we can see a field required. I'm going to toggle this towards the right, which basically means that this is now turned on. So as soon as the person fills up this form and this last field is filled, then automatically the response would be received. Now we have to go to responses. And then we have got these three dots. As I click on this, so we have to select the response destination. Here we have got two options, create a new spreadsheet and select existing spreadsheet. So I'm going to select create a new spreadsheet and then click on create. So here we can see that it has been linked to a spreadsheet. Now I'm going to click on this sheet icon, and here we can see that a sheet has been created with the following fields. So we have got all the fields that were a part of my Google form. I'm just going to format this so that it is clearly visible to you. So we have got the task name, notes, task list, due date, and here we also have another field which is timestamp. This is going to register the date and time of the data received. Now what we have to do is we have to go back to our Google form, and here we are going to preview. So now I'm going to fill up this form. Let's say the name of the task is new task 123, and then we have the notes. So I'm just going to write demo notes. Here you can fill in the description. Now what is the task list? It is my task, and then the due date. So let's say the due date is 25th of January. I'm going to click on submit. As I do that, here let's go to the Google Sheet, and you can see that the information has been received here. Now to connect this sheet with Pabbly Connect, I'm going to click on extensions, go to add-ons, get add-ons. And here we have reached the Google Workspace Marketplace. Let's look for Pabbly Connect webhooks. This is the application, and you can see that it has already been installed on my system. Now you have to install it. It is a mandate step, and then you have to close this window, refresh the page. This is absolutely important. And once we have refreshed it, we are going to wait for a few seconds, and then we are going to go back to extensions, and you would be able to see Pabbly Connect webhooks here. We are going to go to initial setup. Here you can see another window has appeared and it has already selected the name of the sheet. Now this webhook URL that we had received here, I'm going to copy this, go back to the sheet and paste this over here. Now the trigger column. So the trigger column is the final data column where the data has been added, and for us this is E. So I'm going to write E and now click on send test. So as I do that, here you can see that the test data has been sent successfully, and now let's click on submit and we can see that our configuration is all set. Let's close this window, go back to extensions, Pabbly Connect webhooks. Here you can see send on event, click on this. This is absolutely important so that every time the workflow runs, we can receive the response. Now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect to see if we have received the API response, and yes, here it is. This here is the trigger column, timestamp, task name, task list. This is the name of the spreadsheet ID, sheet name, sheet ID. Then we have the row index and we have got notes and due date. Once we have received this information, I'm going to choose my action application as Google Task, as I wish to create a task here. Let's click on this. And the action event here would be to create a task. Let's click on connect. Here Pabbly Connect is asking to connect itself with the Google Task account. Let's click on add new connection, then sign in with Google. Here we have to select the account. So once done, we have to provide the access. This is absolutely secure. I'm going to click on allow. As I do that, here we can see that the authorization has been successful, which basically means that Pabbly Connect is now connected with Google Task. Now we are supposed to map this information. So I'm going to map this, and first I'm going to delete, and now as I go to Google Form, this is the name of my task list. Then we have the task title. So how am I going to map this? Again, as I click on this, this is going to show me the previous step, and this here is the name of the task. Then the notes, basically the description, demo notes. Then we have the due date. So we are supposed to provide the due date in this particular format, but the date that we have received is in a different format. So now I'm going to add an action application over here, which is actually a feature by Pabbly, date time formatter. Let's click on this. The action event here would be to format date with time zone. Let's click on connect. And here the date, first we have to map. So this here is the date. Now what is the format that it is in? So it is in day, month, day and year format. So this is month, day and year format. Now which format do we want it in? So we want it in this format. And now the time zone. So I'm going to select UTC. Okay. And again, two time zone is again UTC. So once done, let's click on save and send test request. And here we have received the date. Once done, I'm going to go back to Google Tasks, refresh the connection by selecting the existing connection. And now here I'm going to fill in the due date. This here is the due date. So once done, I'm going to click on save and send test request. And here you can see that we have received the response, which basically means that now a task should be created in Google Task. So I'm going to take you to my Google Tasks now. And yes, here you can see that a task has been created, which basically means that this integration process is a success. But we also need to check this in real. So I'm going to take you back to the Google form, submit another response. Let's say the task name is dummy task. Then we have the notes. So this is dummy description. And then we have the task list. Again, it is my task. And then we have the due date. So the due date here, let's say it is 31st of January. Let's click on submit. So once this is done, what should happen? Automatically a task should be created in Google Tasks. So I'm going to take you to my Google Task account, and yes, here you can see that dummy task has been created, which basically means that our integration is perfect. Now I'm going to take you back to Pabbly Connect to understand what we have done. So here our trigger application is Google Forms, where the event is new response received. Our action application was Google Task, where the event was to create a task, and we had chosen an action application which is a feature by Pabbly named as Date Time Formatter, and here we had format the date along with the time. I hope this is absolutely clear to you. If in case you have any doubt, you can refer to the workflow which is given in the video description. You can also clone the same and start to process immediately. Apart from this, if you have any specific integration to work on, you can always write to us.
Not only this, but you can integrate multiple applications using Pabbly Connect software. To ask any of your query, you have to write at forum.pabbly.com. You can also visit our website, which is www.pabbly.com/connect. To get all the details about the latest updates, the integrations and applications, you can visit our Facebook group. If in case you have found this video helpful, then do not forget to share this with your friends and colleagues so that they can also get into automation and make their life easy. I'm going to see you very soon with different integrations and automations. Do not forget to like, share and subscribe. Take care of yourself.